Welcome to the fascinating world of bird migration. Birds are among the most mobile creatures on Earth, capable of traveling thousands of miles each year between breeding and wintering grounds. Unlike humans who rely on vehicles, birds use their own bodies, specially adapted for flight, to undertake these incredible journeys. Their wings, lightweight bones, and efficient respiratory systems make long-distance travel possible. Migration is not just a spectacle, it's a vital survival strategy that allows birds to exploit seasonal resources, avoid harsh climates, and find optimal breeding sites. Throughout history, people have marveled at these journeys, celebrating the arrival of migratory birds as signs of changing seasons. Today, scientists and bird enthusiasts alike continue to study and protect these remarkable travelers. Humans have been captivated by bird migration for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations, from the Greeks to the Hebrews, recorded observations and myths about the mysterious disappearances and reappearances of birds. Aristotle, the famed Greek philosopher, was among the first to write about bird migration, noting the seasonal movements of cranes and other species. Over time, people developed various theories to explain where birds went during the winter, some more fanciful than others. For example, some believed birds hibernated in mud or even traveled to the moon. While these ideas seem strange today, they reflect humanity's enduring curiosity about the natural world. Modern science has replaced myth with evidence, but the wonder remains. Before scientific methods were developed, people tried to explain bird migration through observation and imagination. Some believed that birds transformed into other species or hibernated through the winter. There were even stories of small birds hitching rides on the backs of larger ones to cross vast distances. In some cultures, the arrival of migratory birds was celebrated with festivals, marking the end of winter and the promise of food and warmth. These early ideas, though often incorrect, highlight the deep connection between humans and birds and the importance of migration in different societies. Today, we know that migration is a global phenomenon involving countless species and spanning continents. As scientific inquiry advanced, so did our understanding of bird migration. Researchers began to collect data, observe patterns, and develop new techniques for studying these journeys. The realization that migration was not limited to certain regions or species, but was a widespread and complex behavior, changed the way we view birds. Today, we recognize that migration is driven by environmental cues and evolutionary pressures, and that birds navigate using a variety of sophisticated methods. The study of migration has become a collaborative, international effort involving scientists, governments, and citizen observers around the world. One of the oldest and most accessible ways to study bird migration is through direct observation. Birdwatchers and scientists alike have spent countless hours noting the arrival and departure of different species, recording their numbers and tracking their movements. These observations, often shared through organizations like the National Audubon Society, have provided valuable insights into migration patterns. While this method is limited to what can be seen from the ground, it remains a cornerstone of migration research. Observers have even used telescopes to watch birds crossing the face of the full moon at night, revealing the vast numbers that travel under cover of darkness. Birds often migrate at night, making visual observation difficult. To overcome this, researchers use aural techniques such as parabolic reflectors and microphones to amplify and record the calls of migrating birds. These recordings can capture the presence of species flying overhead, even when they are invisible to the naked eye. While identifying species by their nocturnal calls can be challenging, this method has expanded our understanding of migration timing and routes. It's a reminder that migration is not just a visual phenomenon, it's an auditory one as well, filling the night sky with the sounds of travel. Natural history museums play a crucial role in migration research. By collecting and preserving bird specimens from different times and places, scientists can compare physical characteristics and track changes in populations over time. These collections help identify breeding and wintering grounds, as well as migration routes. Properly labeled specimens provide a historical record, allowing researchers to study long-term trends and changes in migration patterns. While this method is less dynamic than observing live birds, it offers invaluable data for understanding the evolution and diversity of migratory behavior. Marking birds with bands or tags has revolutionized migration research. By capturing, marking, and releasing birds, scientists can track individual movements when those birds are later recaptured or found. In North America, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Canadian Wildlife Service have coordinated large-scale banding programs since the 1920s. Each band carries a unique number and contact information, allowing researchers to gather data on migration routes, stopover sites, and survival rates. While only a small percentage of banded birds are ever recovered, the information gained is critical for understanding migration dynamics and informing conservation efforts. Advances in technology have enabled researchers to follow individual birds in real time using radio transmitters. By attaching small, lightweight transmitters to birds, scientists can track their movements over long distances. This method has revealed detailed information about flight paths, speeds, and stopover behavior. For example, a gray-cheeked thrush was tracked for over 400 miles in a single night, providing insights into the endurance and navigation skills of migratory birds. While radio tracking is limited by transmitter size and battery life, it continues to offer exciting possibilities, especially with the development of satellite tracking. Radar technology, originally developed for tracking aircraft, has become an invaluable tool for studying bird migration. Radar can detect large flocks of birds moving across the landscape, even at night or over vast distances. This method has uncovered surprising facts, such as the discovery of small land birds migrating over open oceans. By analyzing radar data, scientists can estimate the speed, direction, and altitude of migrating birds, providing a broader picture of migration patterns than ground-based observations alone. Radar has truly opened a new window into the hidden world of avian migration. Bird migration is the result of millions of years of evolution. The benefits of inhabiting different regions during favorable seasons outweigh the risks and energy costs of long-distance travel. For example, upland sandpipers breed in North America's grasslands and winter in Argentina, avoiding harsh winters altogether. Migration has evolved multiple times in different bird lineages, shaped by environmental pressures such as food availability, climate, and competition. Some species are fully migratory while others are partial migrants or permanent residents, reflecting a spectrum of evolutionary strategies. Migratory birds possess remarkable physical and physiological adaptations. Their wing shapes are often longer and more pointed, reducing drag and increasing efficiency during long flights. Fat storage is another key adaptation. Before migration, birds accumulate large fat reserves, sometimes making up 30–50% of their body weight. These energy stores fuel their journeys across continents and oceans. Additionally, changes in metabolism, muscle strength, and even brain function help birds prepare for and complete their migrations. These adaptations showcase the incredible resilience and ingenuity of nature. Not all birds migrate in the same way. Some species like blue jays exhibit partial migration, where some individuals migrate while others remain in the same area year-round. This flexibility allows populations to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Permanent residents such as many woodpeckers have evolved strategies to survive in one region throughout the year, often by exploiting different food sources or habitats. The diversity of migratory behaviors reflects the complex interplay between genetics, environment, and survival. Prompts birds to begin their migrations. The answer lies in environmental cues, especially changes in day length. As days grow longer in spring, birds experience hormonal changes that trigger increased appetite and fat storage. These physiological changes prepare them for the energy demands of migration. Temperature, food availability, and even the development of vegetation can also influence the timing of migration. Birds have evolved to respond to these cues with remarkable precision, ensuring they arrive at breeding or wintering grounds at the optimal time. The weeks leading up to migration, birds undergo dramatic physiological changes. Their brains signal increased hunger, leading to rapid weight gain as they store fat. Hormones such as prolactin and corticosterone rise, supporting the development of fat reserves and migratory restlessness. This restlessness, often observed in captive birds, reflects the internal drive to begin their journey. The timing of these changes is finely tuned to environmental signals, ensuring birds are ready to depart when conditions are right. A-length or photoperiod is the primary environmental cue for migration. As the amount of daylight increases or decreases, birds' brains respond by triggering hormonal changes that prepare them for migration. This adaptation allows birds to synchronize their movements with seasonal changes, ensuring they arrive at breeding or wintering grounds when resources are most abundant. Even birds wintering in the tropics or southern hemisphere respond to local changes in day length, demonstrating the universality of this cue across species and regions. While day length is crucial, other environmental factors also play a role in migration timing. Temperature changes, food availability, and even the presence of snow or vegetation can accelerate or delay migration. Birds are highly adaptable, adjusting their schedules to take advantage of favorable conditions or avoid hazards. For example, if spring arrives early, birds may migrate sooner. If food is scarce, they may delay departure. This flexibility helps ensure their survival in a changing world. Triggers for autumn migration are less well understood than those for spring. Scientists believe that an internal timer set during the spring interacts with hormonal changes after breeding to initiate fall migration. In some species, molting, the replacement of feathers, may delay migration, while in others, birds migrate before or even during molt. These complex interactions ensure that birds leave breeding grounds before conditions become too harsh, but after they have completed essential life processes. Bird migration is a year-round phenomenon, with different species moving at different times. Some begin their journeys as early as July, while others wait until winter approaches. The timing depends on breeding schedules, food availability, and environmental conditions. For example, shorebirds may start migrating south in midsummer, while others, like snowy owls, remain in the north until forced south by severe weather. This staggered timing creates a continuous flow of birds moving across the continent throughout the year. Migration often occurs in waves, with early individuals followed by larger groups and then stragglers. In North America, two main waves are observed in spring. The first includes hardy seed-eaters, while the second consists of insect-eating birds like warblers and flycatchers. Each species has its own migration schedule, influenced by latitude and local conditions. These waves create a dynamic and ever-changing landscape, as new arrivals replace departing birds in a continuous cycle. Many birds migrate at night, taking advantage of cooler temperatures and reduced predation risk. Nocturnal migrants include small songbirds, shorebirds, and rails. By traveling at night, these birds can rest and feed during the day, replenishing their energy stores. Daytime migrants, such as hawks, swallows, and cranes, rely on thermal updrafts and visible landmarks to navigate. The choice of day or night migration depends on species, flight style, and ecological needs, illustrating the diversity of strategies birds use to complete their journeys. Nighttime migration offers several advantages for birds. Cooler temperatures reduce the risk of overheating during strenuous flight, and darkness provides cover from predators. Additionally, flying at night allows birds to maximize daylight hours for feeding and resting, essential for maintaining energy levels. Radar studies have shown that nocturnal migration peaks shortly before midnight and tapers off toward dawn. The sheer number of birds traveling at night is astonishing, with thousands passing overhead during peak migration periods. Some birds, especially large species like hawks, storks, and vultures, migrate during the day. These birds rely on thermal updrafts, columns of rising warm air, to soar with minimal energy expenditure. Swallows and swifts also migrate by day, feeding on flying insects as they travel. Daytime migration allows these birds to cover great distances while foraging on the wing. Observers often spot large flocks of soaring birds riding thermals along mountain ridges or open plains during migration seasons. Birds are remarkably flexible in their migration schedules. Some species can adjust their timing based on environmental conditions, such as food availability or weather. For example, red crossbills may breed and migrate at any time of year if conifer seeds are abundant. This adaptability helps birds cope with unpredictable changes in their habitats, ensuring their survival in a dynamic world. Flexibility in migration timing is a key factor in the resilience of bird population. Migratory birds undertake astonishingly long journeys, crossing continents and oceans. Arctic terns, for example, travel from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back each year, covering tens of thousands of miles. Other species like the blackpoll warbler fly nonstop across the Caribbean Sea, while Baird's sandpipers make epic flights from the Arctic to South America. These long-distance migrations require exceptional endurance, navigation skills, and physiological preparation, making them some of the most impressive feats in the animal kingdom. There are many misconceptions about how fast birds can fly. While stories of birds flying a mile a minute abound, most species travel at more modest speeds. Typical flight velocities range from 20 to 50 miles per hour, with larger birds generally flying faster than smaller ones. Ducks and geese often reach speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, while smaller songbirds fly at 10 to 30 miles per hour. Exceptional speeds are rare and usually occur during short bursts, such as when a peregrine falcon dives on its prey. Rate at which birds migrate depends on many factors, including species, weather, and motivation. While some birds can cover hundreds of miles in a single day, most migrations are completed at a slower pace with frequent stops for rest and feeding. For example, ducks and geese may travel 400 to 500 miles in a day, but smaller birds often move in shorter stages. The overall journey can take weeks or even months, depending on the distance and conditions encountered along the way. Migration patterns differ between spring and fall. In spring, birds are often in a hurry to reach breeding grounds, traveling faster and with fewer stops. Fat reserves are higher, and the drive to reproduce pushes birds to cover more ground each day. In contrast, fall migration is usually more leisurely, with birds taking their time to feed and rest along the way. This seasonal difference reflects the varying pressures and priorities birds face during different parts of their annual cycle. There plays a significant role in migration. Favorable winds can help birds travel farther and faster, while storms or adverse conditions may delay or redirect their journeys. Birds are adept at reading weather patterns, often waiting for optimal conditions before embarking on long flights. Radar studies have shown that migration intensity increases with tailwinds and decreases during storms. Understanding the influence of weather is crucial for predicting migration timing and routes. How do birds find their way across vast distances? They use a combination of environmental cues, including the sun, stars, magnetic fields, and landmarks. Some species rely on innate genetic programs, while others learn routes from experience or older individuals. The ability to navigate accurately is essential for successful migration, and ongoing research continues to uncover the remarkable mechanisms birds use to orient themselves in the world. Vector navigation refers to the ability of birds to maintain a specific direction over long distances, even when displaced from their usual routes. This skill allows them to compensate for wind drift or obstacles and still reach their destinations. Birds use a combination of internal compasses and external cues to adjust their flight paths, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of geography and environmental conditions. Birds use a variety of orientation cues during migration. The position of the sun and stars provides directional information, while the Earth's magnetic field offers a global reference. Landmarks such as rivers, mountains, and coastlines help birds navigate at a local scale. Some species even use polarized light or odors to find their way. The integration of these cues enables birds to undertake complex and precise migrations across unfamiliar terrain. Migration routes vary widely among species and populations. Some birds follow well-defined flyways, while others take more circuitous paths. Geographic features such as mountains, rivers, and coastlines often shape these routes, providing guidance and resources along the way. Understanding these patterns helps scientists identify important stopover sites and conservation priorities for migratory birds. Not all migrations are created equal. Some species travel only short distances between breeding and wintering grounds, while others cross entire continents or oceans. Short-distance migrants may move just a few hundred miles, often within the same region. Long-distance migrants like Arctic terns or Baird's sandpipers undertake epic journeys spanning thousands of miles. The distance traveled reflects the ecological needs and evolutionary history of each species. Through migration, birds may travel alone or in groups, and segregation can occur by species, age, or sex. Some species migrate in mixed flocks while others form large single-species groups. Age and sex differences can influence timing and routes, with older or more experienced individuals often leading the way. This segregation affects survival, competition, and the overall dynamics of migration. Geographic features such as mountains, valleys, and coastlines play a significant role in shaping migration routes. Birds often follow natural corridors that provide guidance, shelter, and food resources. For example, many species migrate along river valleys or mountain ridges, taking advantage of favorable winds and updrafts. Understanding the influence of topography is essential for identifying key habitats and protecting migratory pathways. Migration is a risky endeavor. Birds face numerous hazards along the way, including storms, predators, exhaustion, and human-made obstacles like buildings and power lines. Adverse weather can delay or even endanger entire flocks, while long flights over water or deserts test the limits of endurance. Despite these challenges, the benefits of migration continue to outweigh the risks for most species, driving the evolution of ever more efficient strategies. Birds often follow established migration routes known as flyways. These corridors, shaped by geography and environmental conditions, connect breeding and wintering areas across continents. Major flyways in North America include the Atlantic, Mississippi, Central, and Pacific routes. Understanding these flyways helps conservationists protect critical stopover sites and ensure the survival of migratory species. Migration routes are not always straight lines. Some species follow looping or dogleg patterns, taking advantage of seasonal winds, food availability, or avoiding barriers. These complex routes reflect the adaptability and problem-solving abilities of migratory birds. By studying these patterns, scientists gain insights into the challenges and strategies involved in long-distance travel. Migratory birds, especially seabirds, engage in pelagic wandering, traveling vast distances over open oceans. Others exhibit leapfrogging, where populations from farther north migrate past those from the south to winter in more distant locations. These unique patterns highlight the diversity of migration strategies and the remarkable navigational abilities of birds. Migration isn't always about horizontal distance. Some birds engage in vertical migration, moving up and down mountains or between different elevations to exploit seasonal resources. Pre-migratory movements such as gathering in flocks or staging at stopover sites are also important parts of the migration process. These behaviors ensure birds are prepared for the challenges ahead. Occasionally, birds end up far outside their normal migration routes, a phenomenon known as vagrant migration. These unexpected travelers may be blown off course by storms, disoriented by environmental changes, or simply exploring new territories. While most vagrants do not survive, some may establish new populations, contributing to the dynamic nature of migration. Protecting migratory birds requires international cooperation. Birds cross political boundaries, making their conservation a shared responsibility. Treaties like the Migratory Bird Treaty Act and organizations such as Partners in Flight bring together governments, scientists, and citizens to safeguard migratory species and their habitats. Ongoing research, monitoring, and habitat protection are essential for ensuring that future generations can continue to marvel at the wonders of bird migration. As technology advances, our ability to study and understand bird migration continues to grow. Satellite tracking, genetic analysis, and citizen science projects are providing new insights into migration routes, timing, and challenges. However, threats such as habitat loss, climate change, and pollution pose ongoing risks to migratory birds. Continued research and conservation efforts are vital for protecting these incredible travelers and the ecosystems they depend on. Bird migration is one of nature's most awe-inspiring phenomena. From ancient myths to modern science, our fascination with these journeys has only grown. By studying, protecting, and celebrating migratory birds, we honor the intricate connections that bind ecosystems and cultures across the globe. Let's continue to marvel at the endurance, adaptability, and beauty of migratory birds, ensuring their journeys continue for generations to come.